things speed and sport.
Harvey and Lewis on Vibe Radio.
The jam is over.
Jam is over.
We're now thinking to the future. We have a triple header up next. First with the Spanish Grand Prix, then is it the British Grand Prix or is it the Austrian next? It's the Austrian next, and then the British Grand Prix. You got something over on me today.
Yes.
Finally.
That's like 2, 3, 5-1, Lewis. No?
Yes, 5. Yeah, it's similar to the Scotland score.
Yep.
Sorry, James. But what do we think going into this weekend?
I'm gonna say it's not gonna be as good.
Do you think Red Bull will bounce back?
I'm not sure. To be fair, see, that's the point now. It's got a bit hard now to kind of call it. Although Red Bull could bounce back, I am very aware that they probably will, probably bounce back, and probably will be another Verstappen win. I reckon there's going to be certain drivers that are going to be properly pushing this weekend to try and push for the win, to close that gap to Red Bull. Propel themselves a bit forward. In particular, Mr. Carlos Sainz.
That's what I was going to say. I'll say I've got 2 predictions for the victory this weekend. My first one is I do think that Verstappen will still be the one to beat. I think that little period is where people said, "Oh, Red Bull could be." Red Bull's armour has definitely been dented.
It has.
But I think they will definitely bounce back, and they won't. I don't think they'll have the 22nd win they had at the start of the year. But no. I think they might have not an Imola kind of less than a second. Yeah,
definitely. I think it'd be a bit closer than what it has been.
What I really think, the dream, perhaps, that I believe is, I think that Carlos Sainz could be a shout for victory.
I reckon it could be.
Grand Prix victory. I don't think it's impossible.
It's not impossible.
Well, he's not, because he's already won this year.
Yeah, he has already won this year, but a home Grand Prix win for him would be...
And I think he'll be spurred on by, his disappointing Canadian Grand Prix. I think Ferrari, they're moving their upgrade package. I think I read it was supposed to come out at Silverstone, but they've moved it up to Barcelona.
Yeah.
So I think Ferrari and Sainz in particular could be in for a shout for a win.
They could definitely be in the shout for the win, and I think that could be... bring things slightly closer than what they have been and what they will be. So I'm looking forward to this weekend personally. I think it is going to be a good little racing weekend. I think
it'll be a good kind of test, because this next 3 races all come in quick succession. So I don't really know if the pecking order will violently change.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing.
But I think it's very possible that Ferrari could come into this weekend with upgrades and win. And then you go into Austria, and then, Austria is Verstappen's backyard, pretty much.
Austria is Verstappen's backyard. I'm not expecting...
Besides 2022, where Leclerc won.
True. But
I think Austria is well and truly, apologies to interrupt,
it's fine,
is just Verstappen's backyard. Even before he went on this, dominance he's had, I think he picked up back-to-back wins in 2017 and 2018.
Yeah.
And then he picked up a win in 2020.
No, I think
it was. There was 2 races. There was
2 races. Austria and Styria. He retired from the first one.
And then won at Styria.
Yeah, that was it.
So,
and he's won every single race there since, apart from 2020. Oh, sure, Leclerc won 22.
Yeah, he did win 2022 because he got he avenged his 2019 defeat to Verstappen.
Yes, he did. I remember that.
But I think Austria is definitely Verstappen's backyard. It's probably. You know how Schumacher and Hamilton have got those tracks where they've 8 wins there,
like Hamilton and Silverstone.
Montreal.
I'm
trying to think when. I don't know. I wasn't around when Schumacher was winning.
Neither was I.
But Schumacher's got loads of wins in places as well. I think
True.
Austria will be Verstappen's.
Verstappen's backyard.
9 race wins there.
Definitely.
He might even get 10 there.
Fair. How many? He's on what, 5 there now? 6?
I think he's on 5. I'm going to go fact check.
Lewis is going for the fact checks again. Watch me be right, and another 5. Close the gap down to 5-2. It needs to be, because I'm needing a few wins. But I think it definitely is Verstappen's backyard.
He's got 4 wins there. So less than
4 wins.
Thought.
I'm slightly wrong.
2018, 2019, 2021 and 2023.
Oh, he didn't win 2020?
I thought he did, but obviously he didn't.
He must have got a podium there then.
I know Bottas won. One of them.
That was it.
Bottas won the
Bottas.
first one. I think Hamilton could have won the second one.
Yeah, because that was Hamilton's like dominant season, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
But
I think he'll add his fifth. Where I think things will switch up again is Silverstone,
it will switch up again, I think.
the home Grand Prix. I think
At that point, I think we will start to see Hamilton, Russell, and Lando kind of. Obviously, I think the Merc will kind of come into its power
I've got
there.
a feeling. I don't know which one, but I got a feeling there'll be a British driver on the top step.
I reckon there will be.
I think most likely Norris,
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Russell.
but
I think your more chances are Hamilton or Lando.
I think Norris will. So my predictions for the next three race wins. I'll go. I think I'll say Verstappen Spain, Verstappen in Austria, get his little 3-race streak. But I think Norris will win in England.
Yeah, I'm going to say. Tell you what, I want to be the bold prediction here. Sainz Spain, just because I'd like to see the kid win his home race.
Yeah.
Sainz Spain, Verstappen Austria, Lando Silverstone.
Yeah, I think that's a smart next few races. I think the pole, however, will be different. I think Verstappen will get pole in Austria,
Yeah.
but I don't see him getting pole in Spain.
No, I don't see a Spanish pole going his way.
But
I'm seeing tell you what I'm seeing.
what are you seeing?
I'm visioning it now.
Let's show me your clairvoyance.
Yep. George Russell, pole in Spain.
Well, back-to-back poles for
Back-to-back
George
pole for George Russell.
Back-to-back poles for Mr. Saturday.
I'm seeing it. Yeah, Mr. Saturday, I'm seeing it. There's going to be a Mercedes in that front row. You're going to be a Mercedes P1, then
Should call
Verstappen.
Leclerc Mr. Saturday.
True. Yeah. But I mean, with that pole to win ratio, probably should.
Which he did improve.
He did improve ever
his
so slightly, but it's improved.
It's gone from being like 10% to 11%.
Yep. But no, I am saying it. I'm seeing Russell pole, Verstappen second. I'm actually seeing the cars on the grid now. Russell pole, Verstappen second, Lando third.
The reason he's seen them on the grid in that order is because that was the exact order they're in last time. That's why he's envisaging it like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
What, last time out of Spain?
No, in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm saying Russell, Verstappen, Lando, Hamilton.
Okay, he's gone for something different.
Ferrari 5-6 and Sainz. Wait.
I don't
How have I just predicted Sainz to win if he's going to start 6th?
It's possible.
It's possible, but from Carlos Sainz?
Yeah. It's not impossible.
Maybe.
I think there's a chance. You never know. We don't know what's going to happen.
True,
But we
don't.
can predict it, and I do believe I'll be more right than Harvey, as per usual.
Yeah, as per usual, you probably will be more right. As per usual, I will probably be crying myself to sleep by the end of the weekend.
It's a real tragedy.
It's fine, because on the weekend, we've got touring cars as well, so I'll be happy and content.
Yeah, we'll save that for
We'll save that for a bit.
later on. But there is touring car this weekend.
There is touring car this weekend.
Next up, what I would like to talk about is there has been some more manoeuvres in the driver market.
Yes, there has.
Nothing too serious. Just Tsunoda obviously signing on for 2025. That's interesting to me. That I believe they've said his contract is only till 2025. I think there might be a 1+, like.
Yeah, plus
but
one.
I think Tsunoda at the end of this contract he could be out and leaving because I think the Red Bull tree has stopped working.
Yeah.
Red Bull used to.
Red Bull doesn't Red Bull anymore.
Yeah, Red Bull's ideology was you've been bad for one race, off you go, get the sack. And now their ideology is, well, we'll just keep you forever, even though you're not nowhere. Even though
you're not performing, we're going to keep you there. I do think we will see Yuki leave Red Bull because for the simple fact, if it's not going to get him where he wants to be, he's going to leave.
He's been good this year. He's having a really underrated.
Even Helmut Marko said that he's a top driver.
Yeah, I think in the next few races he'll get a top 5.
Really, top 5?
In the next few races, I think it's possible. Wow. You have another topsy-turvy race, or I think on pure speed. You got to remember, a few years ago, Alpha Tauri, on its day with under Pierre Gasly was like a rocket.
It was a rocket. It was a little rocket. I don't see Ricciardo staying for the round for the rest of the season.
I think as much as I think I want Lawson to get that second seat. I think Ricciardo will just pip him to it.
Possibly.
But
to be fair, knowing Red Bull, knowing Red Bull, they'll do the usual thing of he had a good race in Canada, bang, yes, contract.
Yeah, which I disagree with.
Yeah, I do disagree with that.
I think that. I think personally, I think Ricardo, his time in F1 is over.
I do think it is over. I think he needs to kind of go, cooey, goodbye. But I think, see, the thing is with Lawson, he needs a seat somewhere because he's a top quality driver.
But I see that even though he can leave to another team, I think it's if he hasn't signed a contract by August, I think he can officially leave.
Yeah.
I don't see another team picking him up other
Really?
than AlphaTauri. No, because I'm trying to think. There's we're going on to more of the grid. There's Alpine, which we have done the who will replace Ocon post over at LH_TalkSpeed Sport over on Instagram. Where I think Jack Doohan will be the front runner. I think it might. I think it's between. If I'd say, I think it's either between Jack Doohan or Valtteri Bottas.
Probably.
And only because I don't see anyone else wanting the Alpine seat.
No. I think
Doohan will probably be a good choice.
I think Doohan will be the good choice because he's got like experience behind the car. He's decently
also
strong.
Kind of been one of the most. Ironically enough, he's now one of the most loyal members of the Alpine team.
Yeah, he's been the only one that they haven't kind of said, goodbye.
So I think if they promote him there, I think he can be quite good.
Yeah, a Doohan could be quite good.
Because their other junior, Victor Martin, has had a torrid start of his F2 year, which I predicted at the start of the season. I thought Victor Martin would have that seat. I would say Jack Doohan now.
Yeah. Are we saying that Gasly's going to stay?
Gasly will stay, yeah.
Cool.
Mostly because I don't see him unless Audi want to come in and spend some money on him.
Yeah.
But elsewhere, Mercedes, it's looking very likely that Antonelli will get that spot.
I think it might be a bit of a daft move, but
it could either it could either be a great move and he has a season, where like maybe before 2026, where like. Say Mercedes have a banging 2026.
Yeah.
Well, then he'd already have a year's experience.
To kind of get used to the car and how it works.
But I think it's really rushed. I think Verstappen was like a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it was a one-time
once
wonder.
in a generation kind of.
I don't think you can get something like Verstappen again. Well, not for a long while anyway. But
Verstappen is on his way to end his career. Either if he retires early. But in between Schumacher and Hamilton, or just more wins, less champion. One of them, or if you don't retire, as statistically the best driver ever.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think the Antonelli move from Mercedes, it's probably going to happen. Yeah,
it's a risk, but
there is. If it works, it'll be very worth it.
Yeah, I would say have him in F2 for another year, and hire someone on like a 1-year deal.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously, that's not the way I don't think they'll go. I think they don't want to lose Antonelli to another team.
No,
they did with
I don't think they would want to lose him to another team.
So I think that seat will go to Antonelli. I think Alpines will go to Jack Doohan.
Yeah. Sauber.
I'll go to that bit in it. I think Haas. I think Haas will have an all new lineup next year.
Did I tell you what I've seen somewhere? I've seen Behrman and Ocon.
That's what I've seen. And when you think about it. That would be that's actually like
a very strong lineup.
I think that's an improved lineup.
I think Ocon's very underrated.
I think Behrman is probably set in stone.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously already got that one race experience. But Behrman would be a very good pick. I think he's had enough time in F2 to kind of get used to it.
He definitely
And I think Behrman goes to Haas and will stay at Haas until Hamilton retires. And then he's in for that Ferrari seat, which I think that's an easy, kind of plan.
Yeah, I think, so Ocon, Behrman, Haas. Well, that's looking good.
Yeah, Ocon would be a good choice because I like.
Ocon's underrated.
I think Ocon is really good in midfield teams.
Yeah,
because he's proven like over the last few years he can wheel a car around into a top 10 place.
If you look at his 21-22 season with Alpine. That was some cracking season. He did really well, I think.
Even so, in like his early part of his career when he was at Racing Point and Force India.
Yeah, obviously had these few little mix-ups, but it was a good drive.
And I think, I think with a rookie especially, the team dynamic which people have said, that's an issue. I think that kind of goes away if he has Behrman as a teammate, because obviously he comes in and then he's straight away, the senior figure in the team.
Yeah,
so there's no kind of battle in between.
There's no battle for power in the team.
Yeah, so he's like straight away he's the more experienced one, and Behrman will have to, Behrman can deal with that because he's coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that would be a great. That would put Haas in, I would say, a very good position.
They'd be in a very comfortable position. Yes, definitely.
Moving on, Williams. I think
I'm seeing a Sainz or Bottas for that seat.
I'm not seeing much of Bottas. I think Sainz will probably end up going for it. For some reason, that Audi seat doesn't look very
tempting at all.
Which actually, for some reason, I think I could agree with it on the point of you have to spend a year at Sauber, which is slowly like dialing everything back.
Yep.
And then you've got 2026 where they might be good. But it's a risk.
It's that if, and I don't think he's a big fan of that if. Whereas Williams, he knows, okay, they're a team, they are capable of getting themselves back up there.
My issue with Williams, people have said, they're building themselves back up. They're going to be back there eventually. But I'm not seeing that progress. People have said since 2021, when Russell managed to put that car in the top 3 twice.
Yeah.
they're going to build their way back. But I haven't really seen that. But maybe if they had Sainz and Albon, that could cement them really high up.
Because I've noticed that Williams, they've always had a strong first driver, but never really a second driver.
Not for the last few years, no.
No.
I'm trying to think. It goes back quite a while. I'd say the last time they had a strong 2 drivers was 2017 when they had Felipe Massa and Stroll.
Yeah.
Because as much as people want to doubt Stroll's first season
was a cracker.
In that Williams, he had a podium and he was on the front row at one point. And
exactly.
Stroll is a good. I will keep saying it. I will defend Stroll. He's not the best driver on the grid,
but he can be good when he needs to be. Yeah, it can perform when he needs to perform, and it's just.
He had a quiet and good race last weekend.
He did. Yeah,
a quiet, good race.
Got some points on the board.
I would put Stroll in the same sort of category as Ocon and Gasly, which people might get a bit of. People would disagree with me for, but I will stand by it. I rate Stroll. Which, speaking of Stroll, I think he's got the Aston Martin seat.
I'd probably say so, yeah.
I would probably say the same thing. Trying to think what else. There's the Audi seat. Audi, I think they're going to put someone already racing F1 in that seat. But it all comes down to who's willing to take the risk. Obviously, Hülkenberg's the first man.
Do you reckon Joe could stay there?
I think Bottas or Zhou could stay there for the year.
Bottas has said he definitely wants to be on the grid for 2025.
Yeah. So I think it's possible. What I've seen is apparently the one thing that's stopping Haas's lineup is apparently Zhou's offering up to 35 million for that seat as well.
Jeez.
But I don't necessarily think that whilst Zhou has proven, he can get a car back in one piece.
Yeah.
Besides that accident in Silverstone, which wasn't his fault, I can't really remember a time he's had an accident.
No, he hasn't really made
He's a clean driver.
He is.
He's just not that quick, and what I've seen this year, especially with the Sauber being as bad as it is kind of showing he's not really. His time in F1's passed.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll be on the grid next year, even with the money he can offer.
Yeah.
I don't think Haas are going to be willing to go through that whole 2021 fiasco again.
No.
Especially if they're going to try and bring Behrman in, they need, obviously, an Ocon style of driver.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Need somebody kind of older, more skilled. It's like a bit like a role model for him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think now. I think they could try and poach Gasly. Potentially. What I think is a definite possibility is they clearly don't want Bottas.
No.
But he might get signed for next year on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Just to get him...
See, I don't know why they wouldn't want Bottas. I mean, yeah, despite his age, he's coming to that point of retiring, but he's still...
I just don't think he's in their plans. From what I've seen, Sainz was their number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I'm going to go along I'm guessing Hülkenberg was their second option. Pick. And Hülkenberg agreed, and I think it could be a good. That's a really smart choice.
Yeah, it
A
is.
German driver. Hulkenberg's one of the most senior on the grid. He's very good still.
He is still very good.
What I'm thinking is a possibility, and it all depends on a multitude of factors, but I think it's possible that they do Bottas for next year and then Schumacher for 2026.
Potentially.
Because that would get... That one, he's German,
Yeah.
but there's also still he'll have had time to mature.
And he's still relatively young as well.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. It does... With Schumacher, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he'll ever come back to F1. I think that's his time to come back, if he was to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. If there was ever a time for him to come back to the sport, 2026 would be the shout.
So I think that's possible. Or I see them, if they can't get Gasly, if they can't get Ocon, who all seem to have rejected them, I assume they just go, well, we'll sign Bottas on a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
I think that's possible.
That is possible. And it could
I
happen.
think that's every seat now.
That is every seat covered.
Speaking of 2026, though, new regulations, what do you think of them?
I'm not too sure. There's some aspects I'm not keen on, especially like the active aero kind of side, getting rid of DRS.
I think getting rid of DRS is good.
Yeah.
I'm just not too sure how... I'm not a very technical person. I'm not very good with...
I'm not really sure how it's going to work.
I hope it works. And I also hope that they decide to add another team, obviously.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I think it's a step in the right direction. I think a lot of the negatives to do might be getting blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that, it's probably the right decision.
Definitely, I'd say.
Making
Making the cars smaller.
the cars smaller was definitely a step in the right direction. I do like how the front wings look. That 2006-esque Renault kind of front wing. I do like how they look. Overall, I think the car doesn't look too bad.
I'm not a big fan of the big skid plate on the bottom.
Yeah. But, I will trust the FIA more than myself to make a decision
True.
on how an F1 car is meant to do, considering I'm sat here while they, have loads
Designing
of data.
the car. Yeah.
We have a very good studio here, but it's not quite supposed to be used to design an F1 car.
Yeah, probably not.
We do have a few monitors though, so it's not out of the question. But I would think it's not.
Get the data from the aero tunnel running up.
Yeah, the aero tunnel in the VFX studio.
Yeah.
But I think that covers everything for this segment.
It does. And I'll tell you what, the big catch-up is really